screamed at the mountain, thought it might fall down at my feet. With my feet burning in the fire, can't you see I'm falling? I could use a hand getting off of the floor. Don't you hear me calling? I can't fight alone anymore. You can't play the sun down as long as it's up. Sometimes treading water feels like too much. Forget the calling. Come on, you gotta run, don't you call anymore. Oh, can't you see I'm falling? I could use a hand getting off of the floor. Don't you hear me calling? I can't fight alone anymore. You can't lay the sun down as long as it's up. Sometimes treading water feels like too much. Forget summer calling. Come on, you gotta run, don't you call anymore. More, don't you call don't you call
You gotta have it. Well,
You lay down the law about these music prices. Yeah.
episode 106, Stl Roar, mycitymymusic.com. We got Mr. BRAD NOE in the house. And your sidekick, who's your sidekick? Who's this guy?
Mr. John Fruth.
Really? Really? What do you do, John?
I own a bar
You own a bar.
and play music.
You are an idiot for that. You
You
know
betcha.
that, right? Jesus, you are a glutton for
Because it
punishment.
ends up hanging out with guys like this.
And he doesn't even drink.
Not anymore.
No. And how? So, who else? I'll see. I think it was Kevin Gagnon. He put out there. He's been sober. He's in double digits. How about you? How long have you been sober?
10 years.
10 years. Good for you. You're so awesome. I mean, you feel better. You look better. I mean, just it was a whole different change.
I don't know if I look any better, but
Okay, you're an ugly toad. Is that what you want me to
got
say?
gray, my hair thinned out.
It's called getting old. It sucks. And I don't know what the big fucking hurry was, but you know what? It is what it is.
Hey, well, they still sell dye, so every now and then you'll see me with a.
Just let it go. Gray is sexy.
Let it go.
Yes. I won't, but yeah, I won't do it, but because don't want to look that much older. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think dudes they can pull that shit off more.
Dudes could pull off all kinds of shit. Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's a man's world.
It's a dick thing. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Big thing.
Don't care.
That's where the full
Well,
off
that makes sense. Look at Ron Jeremy. I mean, well, he's in prison now, I think. So let's not use
Jeremy, is he still alive?
Barely, I think. He looks half dead.
Surprised it hasn't fallen off. Jesus.
But hey, if that man had a career, it's definitely addicting.
I know, definitely. I mean, he's just too ugly to do anything else. You know, he had to get paid to do that.
He was a school teacher before he became a porn star.
Oh, gee, that's just
Isn't that
awesome.
wild,
Well, hey, shut up.
He was a good teacher.
Yeah, right. All the potentials, right?
huh? That's right.
Sick shit.
But yeah, I don't think he taught sex ed or anything.
Yeah, but who knows? So, do you have you got new music? Did you
You know,
a new CD yet, or are you working on it?
I
Or you're
have-
always working on it.
I have probably 3 albums worth of material, and I've still yet to release anything digitally.
Why?
I don't know.
You can only tweak it so much, Mr. Perfectionist.
Oh, it's not even. I'm completely the opposite. I'm a one-take kind of a guy.
Well then, what is it? Because
I don't know.
you're so busy.
It's part of it.
Are you playing out every night still?
No. Maybe 3-4 nights a week.
That's enough though.
Yeah. Used to be almost every night. And then I just got old. Sometimes twice a night or a day. whatever you wanna call it.
Where are you at this weekend?
This weekend, let me look at my shack.
Shameless plug. Come on. Do you know where he's at? He's not at your bar, right?
Not at our place yet.
What is the name of your bar?
Billy Bob's Juke Joint,
Really?
down in Evansville, Illinois. Nice little dive bar out in the sticks.
Awesome. That's awesome.
So every Friday,
Yes.
I do Hidden Lake Winery.
Are you-
It's in Aviston.
yes.
It's actually one of my favorite places right now. to
It's a
play.
cool venue.
I'm actually doing it as an open mic.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that's wants to try to get in the venue, it's a good way to get auditioned and all that good stuff.
Right. That's an easy way to get people in there. I'm like, well, instead of just me getting hounded, hey, I need a gig. Well, come up to jam night, play, bring your band, and if you're good, then I can get you a
Right.
date somewhere.
Well, they're busy folks, and I recommend people, and so I go.
Brad's been a pretty big proponent for open mic nights for years.
I know.
He's opened that door for a lot of new upcoming musicians just to get out there and get their stage fright over with even. That means a lot for a musician to put himself out there, supply all the gear and the venue for somebody to come out and just get their feet wet a little bit.
Right.
Thanks.
They just have to do it though. They have to get on stage and do it.
Well, I mean, that's how I got my start.
How old were you when you started playing?
When I actually started playing, or when I played out.
When you actually started playing? When did you
I
decide?
was
What made you
probably-
decide?
I was probably 12. My brother was in the Army, Desert Storm, and when he came home, he had like guitars that he had, So I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. Next thing I know, I'm like playing Simple Man, and he's like, how the hell are you doing that?
So your brother doesn't play, or he just played a little bit?
Oh, he does.
He does play?
He doesn't play out, but he's the professional in the family. The suit guy.
Right. Well, you should make him come out and play. That would be cool. The No Brothers.
He still does. It's like if he's in the area, we typically do 20-minute version of Cortez the Killer or something.
Of
by Neil
course.
Young,
That's awesome. So who was the deciding factor to make you decide you wanted to play and be a rock star? Was it a combination of different bands or different sounds?
I've always been drawn to music.
It's really because he didn't want a day job.
Right. At 12, I wouldn't either.
I've always been drawn to music, and I remember I said I wasn't gonna name drop anybody, but I probably will anyway, so I'll just go ahead and start. I remember going to Oyster Bar and Blueberry Hill
Yeah.
and all these places when I was in my early 20s, or probably 18. I had a fake ID at the time, so
No.
yeah. So I was able to go to all these places, and I'm like, man, how cool is that to be able to do something like time, I was working offshore in the oil industry, and I did that for many, many years until I was 30 or so. Eventually, people were like, "Why the hell are you out here?" Because sometimes I take a guitar on the boat,
Right.
and they're like, "What are you doing out here? You need to be doing this for a living." I'm like, and then just kind of fell into it.
Well, we're glad you fell into it. You're a badass musician for sure.
Thank you.
Definitely. But so when are we gonna? You need to at least do one vinyl. I know I've been on your ass about that. At least one vinyl. Pick 10 good songs and do it.
Yeah, like I said, I probably have 3 albums worth. The first album, I did everything within 1 to 3 takes each song. I felt pretty good about them at the time. I had it mixed at Sawhorse there in St. Louis. But I never wanted to digitally release it because I wasn't happy with the album entirely.
Right.
So I might do some digital releases off of it, or I may just redo the whole thing. And of course, I love albums, so I definitely would like to do that.
I just got my Slaughter album. I ordered it last year. It's over a year. Special edition. And it got to the point where I paid for it, and then it's, oh, well, it's going to take a little while before we get it all pressed and sent. They didn't even start sending that stuff out until a couple weeks ago, and I got on Facebook and blasted them on their own page. Just give me my money back if you're not going to give me my double album. I don't care. Finally got it. It's red. I should have brought it. It's so cool. The albums are, the double album are red. It's really cool.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah. Yeah, Mark Slaughter just got his album, less than a month ago. And it's his own. Yeah, the company, I don't know what their deal was. I think they just collected all the money first and then sat on it and then decided to print everything. Because, I yelled at him. I said, it doesn't take 2 years to cut a record. It does not. When half of them are songs that have already been out there. So it's just, I said, there's local bands here. I know 2 of them that have done vinyl inside of 2 years. I said, and they're working on their next one.
That's kind of why I haven't gone the digital route yet, because I haven't been able to release something tangible in a hard copy. I mean, I could have. I just haven't. I mean, I did a CD, and I made people buy it from me directly. I didn't put it on anything. But, we live in a world of instant gratification, everything, and I would rather have something tangible in my hands that I can look at. So I haven't released anything digitally.
But you can't even play CDs in the newer cars anymore. What the heck?
Yeah, I know, nobody has.
But it is nice to have a CD, It is nice to have something you can put in your hand.
Well, people say they don't have record players in their car either. So.
Yeah, well, that's
Well, I'm
okay.
a pretty big proponent on the hard copies because as we have original artists come through, we have a wall in the bar for displaying their albums.
That's cool.
I have 1 vinyl on the wall so far
Okay.
because certain musicians are still holding back on pressing them.
Well, he's got to do his hair and his beard, and, get out of bed. And
That's it. Just get out of bed. That's these days, yeah.
The digital world for music, that is the big thing now. And that's actually a cheap route.
it is a cheap
But
route.
you don't make no money at it either.
Nobody's making any money. I mean, the guys aren't, the bands aren't. I remember when merch was huge. I mean, no matter what, even if they had a slow show, they could make it up in the merchandise they sold. And there's still some bands out there still trying to, do that, but just because it just gets their name out there. Everybody always likes to buy stuff like that. It's easy to sell.
Well, I noticed, like, with my stuff, it's like I did have merch. I had koozies and T-shirts and
Stickers.
some other things. I even had bottle openers, which is funny, ironic. But everybody bought that stuff up like hotcakes.
Yes.
The CD, they're like, I don't have a CD player.
Or they don't
Okay,
want, or they don't want
whatever.
to fool with it, or they'll just, they'll hear it on the digital
Yeah,
because they
exactly.
think you're on all the digitals,
Which I'm not.
which you're not.
So that's funny. No, but I'm not done yet. I'm far from it. Even though many times I thought about being done. I'm still gonna release some things
of the guys you've recorded with or played with, like Matt, or some of the guys you haven't seen in a while? Could you drag any of them up and say, hey, let's go do a song together, or have them come up and sit in, and just for shits and grins, maybe it'll give you an inspiration to do, just because it's just, I don't know, because you had a relationship with them.
Yeah, I think if I did that, it would be maybe like the second album or a third or even a fourth, but I have some ideas on this first remix that I'm wanting to do, not a remix, but just redo the whole thing. I have some fellas in mind that I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I got some special guest stars on there. And you can ask any of the other ones, even guys that you haven't played with, they'll do it. George has done it, Frankie's done it, and I mean, it just throws a little something extra on there. They'll sell the CDs too. So, I mean, just an idea.
But I am thinking about, redoing at least 3 songs for not only video purposes, but also for album or whatever, but mostly for video and audio. But I like John here, I always thought he had a great look, he's got the distinguished beard and everything. So I thought about,
I was bald first, though.
yeah, he was bald. But I thought about putting him on one of my tunes. He plays stand-up bass, and I think it would look, not only sound good, but look good, just be a nice attribute.
Is it one of the older antique basses, or is it the straight up and down one? It's like.
Oh no, it's the old school
It's the old, yeah.
upright, but it's not an old one.
Right. But that's the way, everybody associates it with.
Yeah, it's the old traditional rockabilly upright bass.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. You got it all wired up, or you just play it as acoustic?
Oh no, it's got a little pickup that's wired into it, so I can plug it in. It's a nice little quick, easy DI into the sound system.
Right, exactly. Make sure you keep your tubes wet. You don't want that sucker to dry out. There's nothing worse. God, first time I saw it, what is that? Goes inside the bass. So what are you going to play for us? Lazy butt. Get your guitar out. Come on. You can
Already?
do it. Yes, already. Come on.
Already, we've been on air for like 10 minutes. It's about time.
Okay.
Well, that's not enough time. Let's talk a little.
Okay, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about this $100 a man gig?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
This argument has been going on. It's like chicken egg. It's just, I don't know if it's ever going to come out of that.
Well, I think the only way to stop the $100 a man gig is to stop fucking doing it.
Yeah, but they're not going to quit playing. Nobody wants to quit playing. Because there's always going to be somebody else that'll say, I'll do it for less. I'll do it for less. Just because they want the exposure. Or they want to play. So I just think it's like, I just don't know if it's ever going to.
Well, I've been looking at maybe numbers I've only been performing for 20 years, but I know there's people who've been performing longer. But I would say in the last 40 years, prices have not changed for the musician in St. Louis. And there's something very wrong with that.
There is. I mean, it's gone down, and then after COVID, it was horrible.
Gas, it's $5 a gallon. And I'm not even talking about this year. Let's talk about 10 years ago. Let's talk about 20 years ago. I mean, in comparison to now especially, I couldn't sleep at night if I was a venue owner and I had a whole room full of people, and at the end of the night said, here's your $100. Thanks for coming out.
But if it's a venue owner, like 90% of them who've never been in a band, don't know anything about it, don't get it, don't understand it, don't know that all that gear and equipment and blood, sweat, and tears these musicians have put their heart and soul into is priceless, and that $100 is, not ever going to cover it. He's thinking that band cost me $800. That band cost me $600. My sound man, if I have sound, I got to pay my sound man. If they're bringing sound, it's going to be extra because they're going to have to bring sound. So that's how most they just see it as an expense. They don't see it as a person dragging in $10,000 worth of equipment to make $50 when it's all said and done. You know, and it's really sad. And when I was booking back in the day when you and Matt were doing your thing,
Yeah.
I mean, it was some of the newer bar owners who definitely didn't know what they were doing. How many people are they going to bring? Oh, that's not the question I want to hear come out of your mouth. Not are they any good, or what are they about, or you know, who are these people? It's, are they going to bring anybody? I'm like, no, they're not. That's why I'm in here asking you to book this band or this tubo or this whatever. No, they're not going to bring anybody because that's what I do. Run around and waste everybody's time.
I
Idiot.
think, you know, I think the idea, you know, if we're talking about St. Louis in particular, and I already name drop names, I'm going to continue to do it. So we look at the 1860s, we look at Broadway Oyster Bar. These are two venues that are well known for music, and everybody goes there because they're well known for music. You know, nobody's very rarely bringing any more than 10 people that are coming to see them because as musicians, typically we're oversaturated anyway. If we're playing 2 nights a week, 3 nights a week, or even 5 nights a week or more, how many people are going to come out and see you 3 nights a week?
Your wife or your girlfriend,
You know what I'm saying?
or you know, your significant other.
Yeah,
Your
it's
close
just,
your close people will be there, but and I've been gigged out. I mean, and I've run sound and I've done all that crap, and it does get old. It does get old
Of
to
course.
go every single night.
but on the other side of that, when you have these established venues and known for music, people are always going to continue to keep going out, especially if they're not even from the city.
Right.
You know, people flock and say, "Oh, I hear they're known for great music." You know, so you know,
But Sular's venues, they're all small, and they have, I mean, they have music 24, or not 24, 7 days a week. Hammerstone's is another one. You know, they all have great music. Do they pay the musician for the shit? No, they don't. But they have great music, and that's just, if you want to play, you play. If you don't, I'll get somebody else. That's what's come down to, unfortunately.
and I've been at both places. I can honestly say 1860s has been extremely nice every time I play there. Some of the
They
nicest
are
people.
super nice.
Extremely. There was one night that I went there, the power was out, right? And instead of them sending me home, I was at the bar playing by candlelight, and everybody that was in there was drinking still, and they were just throwing me money up, 20 after 20 after 20. I ended up making way more than I would have had I just played there for
Right.
like maybe in an hour.
Right.
So that's why I brought John along, mostly because John is on, even though he has been a business owner, venue owner now for how long?
Just a few months, really. We
But
just
he's
opened the end of last November.
But he's been at work with this bar for quite some time. But he's looking at it from a musician perspective, and he's also looking at it as a business owner. And I wanted to bring him to chat a little bit more. That way we can see both sides of the spectrum here.
Well, and I can speak on both sides of that because not every venue, ours especially, we can't have a $1,200 or $1,600 6 or 7 piece band.
Right.
We don't have the venue for it. We don't have the space to have the capacity to recoup the money for it.
And you may not even get the crowd. You can't guarantee that.
You can never guarantee the crowd,
I've
no
s-
matter what you do.
I've
Whether
s-
you're the venue or the band, you can't guarantee a crowd.
It's not always going to fit. I've seen one of the top 5 bands. I'm not going to say which one. And everybody wants to hire them. And they brought them into their bar, and there was 10 people in the bar all night. And they're mad. I'm like, not every band is going to fit every venue,
Sometimes
and vice
that's gonna
versa.
happen. And
It is
sometimes
gonna
it's
happen.
the bands or the musicians, the artists, choosing the right venues
Right.
for what they play too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to a country bar and play hair metal all night.
Right.
You're going to lose the crowd that
Right.
they usually have.
Mm-hmm.
But then don't go to a rock bar and play Old Hank all
Right.
night because you'll lose your crowd too.
Exactly.
There's a combination of things that have to work together.
Right. But
That's
I
why
think-
you should be more versatile in all.
No.
but a lot of
Be
it.
good at what you do and play the right places.
But there's so many factors involved. Like you said, the whole market is saturated. We've got, and you have a dozen musicians that are in 5 bands. So you're going to see them in different bands every weekend or 3 times a week because they are playing in all these different bands. And then, who do you pick to go see? I like this band. I like this. This one's in South County. This one's in North County. This one's in Wentzville. I mean, then it becomes, it's just a toss up. Who do you go
Well,
see
some
when
of that's a
your
good
3 of
thing,
your
too.
your 3 bands are favorite?
If you're playing the same 10-block radius or 10-mile radius 3 nights in a row, you're only going to draw so many people into that. But if you're in North County one night, South County one night, then on the Illinois side the next, you can pull different demographics into
Well,
those
sure you
places.
can.
But like you were saying with promotions and how do you get the crowd, it should never be the band's problem.
It should be both sides.
The
It
venue
should be both sides.
has to promote just as hard as
Yes,
the band.
it's a 50-50 split, and I've said that a million times when I was booking. I said, you have to promote as well. It's not just the band. Because this is your venue and you want it out there, then you have to say, hey, we got Joe Blow playing tonight, yada, yada, But it's kind of hard to get your name out there if you're not even going to put your own name out there.
You bet.
So,
And you can't get mad at the artist because who knows? Maybe you book them 3 or 6 months out, and then there's a big picnic festival,
Right, whatever.
event, something else that's gonna draw people away. That's gonna happen.
Right.
Do you not pay the artist because they didn't get a crowd because you booked them on a night?
Oh,
where
no,
you
no,
couldn't
no, no,
compete?
no. That doesn't happen.
No. And you don't ever let them take less than what you booked them for.
Nope.
Right, Brad?
I have
We had this
always
talk earlier.
No, for real though. I've always said to every venue owner that I've ever worked for, I said, here's my rate. If you have a bad night, I'll kick money back. I've always said that, and I've always been very good about that. And and some refuse to give it back, and others say, "Oh, that was very nice. Thank you very much."
There's a few artists that'll do that too, and I get it. It's very cool.
But at the same token, I'm not saying my rate is $100.
Right.
Obviously, everybody's rate is going to be different. It depends on how long you've been doing it and how well you crafted your craft. And
How much gear, how far the drive is. The
all
hours.
these are very big deciding factors. Exactly. If it's a bigger place, you need more equipment, which means more setting up, the drive time, etc., etc. My personal rate, which again I wasn't going to discuss, but these days I try to get $100 an hour, sometimes more. So I'm ranging anywhere between $300 and $500 most of the time. And if you're getting less out of me, then congratulations. That's all
Then
I
he's
gotta
playing at my place.
Right. Well, there you go. Well, I mean, if it's a plumber, you're not gonna, or an electrician, what are you gonna do? No, yeah. What do you say no to them?
These are
It's the-
absolutely
It is your profession. You
oh.
charge what you want.
right. Who can learn a skill? You know what I'm saying? These skills take sometimes, unless you're a prodigy, can take 10 years or longer to get to where I can get out and make money doing this. I think there's so many people that are leaving the basement or whatever you want to quote way too soon and getting out and making their $100 or whatever, when they should be polishing more.
But then again, that could be their max. Even
I
if,
don't
and I
think so.
know what you're saying because I've walked in and said, "What on earth?" is
Oh,
that?"
it's I know.
But you know what? That may just be their max. That may be all they can do.
I have to disagree though.
Well, there's a lot to be said for actually having to get out of the basement or the garage and get in front of people. Because you do hone that craft the more you play out.
Absolutely.
So yes, maybe you start out at the lower rate because
Open mics.
you're not very good,
Right.
or do the open mics.
the open
get
mics.
your
I
feet
started, and I think
maybe open for another band. You only play for an hour to get your feet.
I don't even say you're ready to do that yet. I say do the open mic thing. There's so many great things about open mics. You know, you meet other musicians
You can put a band together.
or whatever.
Exactly.
You know, watch how they're performing. Be like, wow, that guy is really good.
Well,
I
that's
wanna
a
be
lot to be said
better.
with that.
But-
Is musicians that want to be better musicians need to get with
Yes.
better musicians.
What?
But then again,
As
there are
often
some
as possible.
that don't want to be honest and say you suck. Not me. I've been known to say you sucked in that song, and you know what? It's like, and I would just, you know, I'm not that mean, but I mean, I think that
Well, I'm not either.
they should listen to. But there's people that will compliment before they will, you know, criticize that musician because number one, he's up there playing a song. And there's a few of them out there that get away with screw up and all that because they're cute or they're young or mom and dad and grandma are in the audience and they can do no wrong, that kind of shit. So it's just a combination of stuff too. I don't think that we are 100% honest with, you know, and actually trying to help out some
Well,
of
it doesn't
the
always
younger
have
ones.
to be in a negative way.
No, it
Everybody
doesn't.
Thinks criticism has to be negative.
That's why
No,
there's
doesn't.
the constructive.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
And I've always done that. You know, and one of the things I prided myself in through the years is being able to give musicians their first gig. And I've done that so many times, and it sounds cornball-y, but really, I mean that has been such an honor for me because I'll be like, hey, you're getting better this week, or you sound better than you did last week. Come back. And what a lot of people don't understand is if you do it right, and I modeled my open mics after one of the unsung guys, Butch Moore. So Butch Moore's been doing Stagger In longer than everybody in the area.
Right.
It's one of the longest running open mics. So I looked at
Stagger
the
in. Dang.
I looked at the way he did things, you know, and I respect the way he did things. And it's like, okay, you get in here, but what you don't know what Butch is doing. Sorry, Butch, but he's letting them know this guy's ready, you know.
Right.
And that's basically what I've been trying to do.
You will. Is it time to play yet?
Not yet.
Boy,
Do you want to play?
oh no, this is his show. I'm just hanging out and drinking beer.
It's our show. Everybody's show.
So I don't know if there'll ever be, if there'll ever be an answer to that or if it'll ever get solved. But, I mean, it's so sad because I remember back in the 80s when bands were making money hand over fist. It didn't matter. The landing, where you played, so much music, and everybody was making money. And then it just started to go downhill, downhill, downhill. And
Yeah.
it started, and some venue owners were, there wasn't enough people in here, I'm cutting your pay. That is the worst thing ever.
Oh yeah, you
That
can't.
is just bad. You can't do that to a band because all my contracts have got the clause in it that the minute the band steps on stage, they get paid, regardless of what happens. Short of a hurricane, they are due their money, regardless of what it doesn't matter. You know.
Well,
So-
we need to just, as venue owners, as musicians, and whatever, we need to look at what is going to be good for the community, you know, because if you're helping each other out, things can only get better. You know, I know everybody had a rough time with the COVID thing, and Ron Stevens created Keep Live Alive, which was brilliant, and I was honored to be a part of that, very much so. And you know, we need to start putting our minds more towards how to make things better for everybody, and not just accept the bar where it currently is.
I know. It just keeps getting lower and lower. Even if there is a standard an industry standard, like a union, then it still would. There's always going to be somebody that's going to say, no, I want the gig. We're going to do it for cheaper, because they're always going to undercut.
There's people, exactly, and there's people out there that don't need money. They have money, so they think it's cool that they can just go out and get all these gigs when they're playing for $100.
But that's okay for them because that's their hobby.
It's okay for them, but it's not okay for other people.
That's a cover band situation, and there's a difference. There's definitely a hard line difference between your standard cover band, your specialty cover band that does
Tributes.
the tribute or the hair metal show type of thing. I mean, there's some very stylized cover bands that are known for their performance as well as the music. And then you have all of your original artists too. So there's a lot of different levels in what the music community has to offer. Some of them have a higher value than others.
Oh, absolutely. But we'll go back to porn. Just because you like your job doesn't mean you should do it for free or little to no money.
Exactly.
I'm sure Ron Jeremy loved his job. That's probably the only way the man ever got laid.
Probably.
But he got paid very well.
And he got paid for it too, on top of that.
Absolutely.
But I remember back on Back to the Landing when you could hear original artists anytime. People went to see original artists. Steve Ewing, for him, for example. I mean, The Urge, everybody was downtown, and it didn't matter where they were playing, if it was on the Landing or where people were going to see it. And we had more venues that had original music. Ready Room, we had Cicero's, we had Pops, was way better regarding. Now it's too structured or something. I don't know what it is. But back in the day, the old Pops, you could always hear original music somewhere. Red Flag, I'm not a fan of Red Flag, but I liked the other version of it. But it's still a cool venue. It's just hard to.
I haven't been to Red Flag yet, but
You
I
still
did,
have off Broadway, Old Rock House. They pull a lot of good national touring acts. I mean, them are ticket sales venues that do well with it.
Sure they do, but it's still not helping our original artists here in the city, because I remember booking the Duck Room, and it was every weekend I booked that room, and we had different artists in there all the time, and we had national acts. So I was giving so many dates that they hadn't booked national acts, and then I was throwing people in there. How many times have you played the Duck Room?
I played there twice.
That's it? That's all you played it?
That's enough.
That's it.
That's enough?
As
long as it's on your resume. It's a sucky load in for sure, but it's a cool venue.
It's a horrible load in, God almighty. But
yes.
I will honestly say, though, it's still one of the highlights of my musical career. I played there the day after Chuck Berry did. And I was looking at the stage floor, like maybe seeing if I had remnants of sweat drops.
No, they were trying to keep him off the floor. I was at that show the night before, and it was so sad because Ingrid's on stage, and Chuck, he just gets out there and he smiles, and he starts playing, and he's playing the same verse over and over. But we're so forgiving, and we love it. He's just going to keep playing. He was close to, no, he was 89. Anyway, so he gets up there, and he says, I think I forgot the words. And then Ingrid says, okay, and then she starts singing, and his son is playing drums, and then he goes into the next verse. But then you got to watch him, and she had to jump up on stage because he's going to go down and do the duck walk. No, you're not. And we had to keep him up because, I mean, if something were to happen, I just feel so bad for him. But then again, he died doing what he loved. So
I think back, like I said, the fake ID days. I remember being down there and seeing like John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. John Mayall was up there, and I think I got an autograph on a dollar bill, which I ended up having to spend one day. You know what I'm saying? But I just remember thinking, this is so cool. But even though I had a little bit of claustrophobia, but I loved that room, and when I got to perform on there twice, one time it was all original music I did. The first time was covers because we were opening for my late friend Bud Summers, and I wanted him to be more of the showcase.
Is that one of the ones I did? I think it's one of the ones. Yeah, it is because Bud's memory just came up in my that picture from that show came up in my memories. I'm like, oh, bless his heart. What a sweetheart of a guy.
God, he was the best.
He was just a sweetheart of a guy. I mean, just calm, cool, collected. He was, but put a guitar in his hand, forget it. He's all. I mean, he was insane.
He was jazz trained or whatever. I mean, the man knew his way around the guitar. You know, and he has like 6 original albums. You know, a lot of people didn't even know who the hell he was, and to this day it blows my mind just because of how talented Bud
I love that guy.
was. And not only that, like you said, just a sweetheart of a guy. And every time that he and I would talk, I mean, he was just the most down to earth dude, like, you know, for 30 years, you know.
And he made it look so easy. It was effortless when he played. I mean, you didn't even know. It was just like, what? He was just, yeah, he was great. He really was. And you could ask him anything, and yeah, this is what I did. No big deal. He was a sweetheart.
You know, and I really respected him also for his business aspect of things. He was not a $100 musician, not even close. I mean, he was charging. He was throwing out 350 quotes, and you know, here and there, and you know, and that's the way it should be. You should know your worth as a musician.
You should.
And the more gray hair and all of that shit you get, the more you should know your craft, and the more you should know your worth.
Well,
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
they do.
But
But you can't really put a price on it. Like I say, all musicians are priceless just because of everything that goes into it. Regardless. If it's your song or somebody else's song, you're going to play it, put your spin on it or whatever, you're still busting your ass to learn that song.
Oh yeah.
And you're playing it, and it's going to be perfect when you play it. Even if you screw it up or not, or you think you're going to screw it up, it's all about the love of music and playing it. So, what are you going to play now? You're just going to...
song about Ron Jeremy.
God.
Figured if somebody didn't put a guitar in his hand, he wasn't gonna get up on.
No, because, and what's he want to sing about? Ron Jeremy, of all people.
Of course.
Of course he does. You're not tuned. What are you going to start with?
I don't know.
One of your favorites?
I don't know.
Do you have a favorite?
No,
What's your go-to song?
I don't have one. I'll play some original stuff though. Princess and kings on parade, wave to crawling on the basement with your hands and knees, wearing through. It's on and off again, on and off again, on and off again. Stipulation love, have you taken on enough? Get down to the hard times and separate. So what? It's on and off again, on and off again, on and off again. as you pass in front of me. Until the bottom drops out, there's nothing left to leave. There's nothing left to leave. I said there's nothing left to leave. On and off again. On and off again. It's on and off again.
There's some space dust down there, some of those ridiculous seltzer waters, and some Bud Light down there. I've got 2 more of these in the truck, but they're probably warm by now.
What would you like?
I don't care. I don't care. No, I don't drink. I got those for somebody else. I'm just stuck with a whole freaking case of them. I think she drank 1. I'll take a Bud Light.
Sounds like a polar bear looking for ice. Or fish on the ice.
So was there a story behind that song, or just you just wrote it?
Yeah, there is. That was one of the ones I wrote going through extreme withdrawals. I had to quit playing music for a solid year to get my mind and everything right, my body and everything. And
I remember that.
Literally had to move back in with my parents for a year, and I wrote that song in the basement. I felt like life was just passing me by as I was dwindling away. I walk around at 275, and I weighed 160 pounds at that point. I lost so much weight, I was so weak, couldn't even hardly do anything, I couldn't stand.
You were in a bad place.
Yeah.
I remember that. I'm glad you got out of it, and just 'cause your talent is just amazing. Absolutely.
You know, it's and that's why that's why I'm opinionated. That's why I'm passionate about things. You know, it's like I feel that in a sense you do have to sacrifice for your art, but for only for so fucking long, and then you should reap what you sow.
Right.
I think people are tired of paying their dues.
But it's the love of the music and playing is what keeps them going.
Yeah, it's not about chicks, and in the end, it's not about money. I mean, if it was truly about money, I would have stayed at my job offshore where I made $14,000 a month.
Right.
So people that truly know me know that it's not about money, nor is it about women, because I did just fine before I started playing music. Probably even better. I let myself go with music, let my hair grow out and get fat and all that shit, you know.
But the chicks love him.
I don't mind.
At your hangout
I don't mind.
that I ran into you at. At your hangout that I ran into you at.
Oh, yeah, Diamond.
Yes.
Yeah, that's always been my hangout. That's no secret.
Now, we were talking a little earlier about Brad wanting to do a video. He's got a song he wants to shoot a music video for here in St. Louis. You're familiar enough with the city. You know Blair Circle, right? The big old brick water tower. If he'll play it next, tell me that wouldn't be a great setting for prayers.
For your video?
I haven't seen it yet, but I'll take your word.
Grant, where would you say it?
Up at Blair Circle.
Blair Circle.
The big brick water tower. Grand has the white one, Blair has the brick one.
Okay.
So this song that you're gonna play about the water tower, how old is it one of your older ones or newer ones?
It's an older one. I wrote this song when, so my grandma had her house on the market for a year before she decided that she was going to move to Redbud. And I told her if she didn't get an offer for it in a year, I would buy her home. Needless to say, no one offered her anything, so I ended up living in the home. And one of the spare bedrooms, I created a music room. And I just finished it, and I literally hung up the guitars on the wall. I just sat there admiring it for a second, like, this is pretty cool. And all of a sudden, I just picked up a guitar, and this entire song, lyrically and everything, just came out.
It just wrote itself, huh?
It was kind of like a weird possession, and I can honestly say it was probably the only song I've written where I almost felt possessed a little bit with it. All my songs have came quick, but this one was like something was writing it for me.
That's cool.
So I don't know to this day truly what it is about. I feel like there's really bad times headed towards us when I wrote it. And this was a long time ago. At least 8 years ago.
Well, do you feel different when you play it? Or is it just a different set of feelings?
No, I feel the same way about it. Bonds we made, bound by the beast you're calling, making me cry. And their creeds are falling by in our lives. Are ye ashing voices, Father and Son? Can you hear them calling on? Prayers from a gun. No one knows of the ages coming, the trumpets will sigh. And men's hearts will fail them here in their lives. Who are we to judge their pleads of hope when their deals come undone? Prayers from a gun. All I need is in my soul. It's all I need that makes me whole. All it takes to make you cry. All it takes to make you die. Are you gonna blind me? Are you gonna find me? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Want you, bleed you, let me go. I want you, need you, let me go.
takes a lot for musicians to put their own stuff out there. That's one thing I wish the area would recognize a little better, that there is one hell of a great core original artist group in
Yeah.
this whole St. Louis metro
Oh
area.
yeah, definitely. I mean, and they've tried. You could take so we'll take George and Frankie for instance. They started with Broken Toys, King of the Hill, Hell in a Handbasket, Like an Army, all their bands that they have put together. I mean, they're original artists. I mean, and they could command a full house no matter where they played. These four guys, all originals, but they're making more money now doing covers.
Yeah.
That's really sad, really sad. But you know, Frankie's band, he took Dr. Chevegas has been around the world. I mean, it's crazy. But Frankie's still producing. He's still paying it forward. I mean, he bought school. He opened School of Rock at St. Peter's.
Yeah.
So, and he's got a badass studio, and he'll help anybody who needs help as far as recording or whatever. He's an evil genius when it comes to that kind of stuff. So,
St. Louis always sits right on that cusp of making it a music town and just falling short. But this is a hell of a music community. I mean, you've got every genre under the sun right here in
Oh, I
St.
know.
Louis.
Well, that makes sense because Nashville's Nashville, and St. Louis is like a mixed breed.
It's everything.
it is.
If you enjoy original music, you can find your flavor here across the boards.
Yep. It's all here, and I mean, no matter what happens, though, even though sometimes it's dog eat dog, they still will come together and play like there is no competition.
Well, this area's got a lot of killer musicians. that
So, well,
work
they
together.
do, they really do.
Work together to cut other people's throats, too.
Stop it, stop it,
We're
stop
not
it,
talking
stop
about
it.
you right now, Brett.
Yeah,
I'm
not all about
trying to
you.
open up the
Yeah.
gates. That's what I'm trying to do.
You know, like, and there's still there's a few musicians who've actually made it out there. Probably they should have made it better, but because we knew they've got the talent to do it. But I think it was a right place, right time, because that's the only way to explain some of the bands that have actually quote unquote, you know, made it, if you want to call it that. But I mean, there's so many bands that are so underrated, so many underrated bands that didn't. April Wine, Zebra, Rainbow, you know, all this talent that should have. Why are we just? I just understand why Pink Floyd is on a broken record, constantly playing over and over and over and over and over, and Led Zeppelin. Nothing against the bands. I've worn out all my 8-tracks when I listen to them, but I mean, I don't understand why we want to concentrate. Why they want to concentrate on just those and play them over and over again instead of move on. Because I remember when Casey used to play every song, the deep cuts.
Yeah.
They flipped the record over and they played it. And to this day, when I get an album, I play every freaking song on there.
Sometimes, in my opinion, the B-side is better.
It is.
But it's just maybe because you heard the other one so many times.
But the B-side's usually a different. It's usually something that, hey, let's do something different for the B-side.
Or
And
maybe
sometimes it
more
comes up better.
More personal to the artist versus trying to get that hit or whatever the hell it is, you know.
Right.
You know, you didn't know this,
And
but
what's a B-side now?
yeah, there is no B-side.
There is no B-side.
You didn't know this, but I actually sent Ron Stevens a message the other week.
Yeah.
It's been about 3 weeks ago. Just kind of talking what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And I said, you want to go to lunch sometime and talk? And he said, yeah, I'd love to. That'd be great. So we went and met. And,
At the fountain.
no, we went to some, I forget the name, egg, yolk, or,
Oh, the Egg and I.
was it?
Is it the Egg and I? Oh, the breakfast place right there on
It's-
yeah, it's right there
I
on.
think it's called the Egg.
Is it just the Egg?
I think so. I might be wrong.
Oh, it's right there on Locust though, right?
Locust. Yeah.
It is the Egg. I'm sorry, my bad. It is the Egg. That's a cool place. They got great food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we sat down and we talked, you know. And, he's like, Brad, what do you want? thought about it, and I think I answered myself in that given second. You know, this whole time, you know, I was like, do I want to tour? Do I want to be signed? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? The answer is, if it's not on my term, I don't want anything to do with it.
Right. Well, you shouldn't.
And so that pretty much kills everything else.
Well, not necessarily until you find the. I mean, you may run into the one person who has the same ideas and you know, that you have, that is looking out for your best interest. And you know, I can think of one. I'll talk to you about it after the show. I don't know if you've ever reached out to him, but he's been doing some good with all kinds of different original artists. He's not up your ass. He's just the producer. But you know, you get lots of freedom. I know that.
Well, I know a lot of the underground musical artists that he actually likes. You know, I mean, they're pulling down quite a bit of money, and they're not particularly signed. They're touring where they want to tour. And,
who's your underground artist?
Oh, there's a whole lot of country that is not record label friendly, and they do what they want to do. The big thing is, how much touring do you want to do?
Exactly.
For me, you know, I would love to do like a little tour for a couple of weeks, get my butt back home. But that would be like a max. I wouldn't want to be on the road for 6, 8, 12 months.
well, I don't.
Wouldn't be my thing.
I don't
Hello?
think those guys do that. Most of them.
Oh,
Hello?
a lot of them do. They'll play 300 shows a year,
Hello.
250 shows a year.
I used to do that anyway. May as well get paid for it.
Yeah, but
probably.
you're gonna do it from coast to coast and north to south.
Well, like I said, I mean,
it's all travel.
I think if I found a proper agent to where they were like, gave, you know, said, hey, this place would be good, and then, you know, went into details versus just say, here you go, here's where you're going to be at, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, that's a lot of work to set up a tour because
Oh,
I mean, it's every town in between to make sure that you know it's
Yeah.
on the way, and so you guys can get more money and still be a decent venue.
Yeah.
I know I've done that, and it's a lot of work. And I was only a few bands I was doing it for. It was a couple of rich bands.
I
But,
play bass for Caleb Atwood local shows. But this kid will run anywhere from the northern end of Illinois to Nebraska to Florida, Alabama, Georgia for show. And he will just hit the road. And sometimes he's gone for weeks doing it. I talk to him all the time.
Does he have a support system, or is he just doing solo shows?
He does have musician friends that help him through a lot of that, but it still takes a toll on him. It wears you down.
It does.
Oh, I'm sure.
And that's north and south, coast to coast type stuff. The pay ain't no better in most of them places than it is here.
I would have to beg the differ.
Oh no, it really is not. I mean, there are a lot of places that are in the
Yes,
same
sir.
par of St. Louis.
Hello. Fine. Who is this? Well, hang on a second. Hang on. Don't go anywhere.
boy.
Don't go
Our
anywhere.
first caller.
Is this the one? Can I? Oh, here it is. Go ahead.
Tell the story about All Right Fast.
That's
What's
your
up,
buddy.
Tony?
That's your buddy Tony.
What's going on, man?
Hey, you're loud.
He is loud.
I am loud. I've always been loud, but we're having a hard time hearing you guys.
Oh, yeah?
Because he's sitting
Yeah.
way back.
Yeah, it's always been him.
I know.
Can you hear me, Lou?
I can, brother. I'm proud of you. You look good.
Thank you. How's, you're in North Carolina, right?
South.
South. How's that going?
Yeah.
Big
Yeah, you know,
difference.
better than a kick in the pants.
Where at in South Carolina?
Charleston.
Oh, I did a gig out there. Did a job out there. It's nice.
Charleston. It's yeah, you know, it's a nice place to be. But secret's out though. Everybody's coming here, unfortunately.
The secret's out, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Bill Murray and his big mouth and all the secrets out. But I don't want to keep. I don't want to keep you guys, Brad. You know, I love your brother. You're awesome. I'm really proud of you.
Well, look at that. Awesome. Now you're gonna tell the
It's
story.
been a while.
All right, fast. I'll talk to you later.
See you, buddy.
Well, that's
We
cool.
were
So who's this guy, Tony?
Tony.
Is he from here or is he from?
He grew up in Waterloo area.
Uh-huh.
He's older than me. He's like my brother's age.
Mhm.
But I think he and my brother got me real good and drunk. Like I was probably 13 years old. And we were drinking George Killian's Irish Red. And I'm like, hey,
That
this
hurt.
like in a mug, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is pretty good, you know. Like I'm keeping up as fast as you guys, you know. And he's like, all right, fast. And then like not long after that, I was wasted. Fell on the table or something.
That's funny. That's hilarious. That sounds like a song. You should write about that.
There's plenty of other drunken stories that'd be better, that's for sure.
So now what do you play? You do
Music?
one. Pick one.
There's another one I want to do a video on. I'll probably play it on a banjo or something. Create it more of a.
What's the story?
I don't want to say a grass root, but I mean, you know, this is another one I wrote extremely quick. This is probably the newest song that I wrote, and I haven't written anything since then. I've toyed around with ideas, words, and things that I put down on notes. This particular song is just kind of came to me in a flash. It's just kind of like letting go of old things and moving on. Kind of women related, but it's also other things.
We'll just leave it at that.
On a line, be an angel, raise the dead at dawn. On a line, be an angel, that can break a heart of stone. Still trying to find a reason to right my ways are wrong. Wake me when it's gone. Gonna be a sheep and darken out the light. Gonna be a harlot to keep awake at night. I'm be a target, crosshairs of bloodshot eyes, halo in the sky. dead or gone. Unleading angel that can break a heart of stone. Still trying to find a reason to right my ways wrong. Wake the wind, it's gone. Wake the wind, it's gone. Wake the wind, it's gone. Wake the wind, it's gone.
Yes. That was Episode 106, Stl Roar, MyCityMyMusic.com. We've got BRAD NOE in the house. You want to play another one or you want to take a break? Are you good?
I'm getting messages that nobody can hear anything.
Because you don't want to speak up.
They talking about Facebook, so I know they hear it.
They can hear it on YouTube. It's probably mine. It's probably mine. I'll turn it off.
Somebody was like, "That's
We'll take a little break, eh?
Yeah, let me put some music on. So did you recognize or did you know who the band was?
Trailer down in Silver Springs.
Episode 106, Stl Roar, mycitymymusic.com. BRAD NOE in the house. I love this audience. We don't have to feed them. It doesn't cost anything. They just like to hear music. Right? Yes?
I didn't hear you.
I said, never mind. Don't ask me what I'm talking about then. All right, so now what?
So yeah, there was a few people said they couldn't hear. So whenever you release it again,
Yes.
it'll be much louder.
It'll
So
be better,
Everybody
yes.
tune in again.
Well, it'll be, I'll take Tweezy's version, which is on YouTube, and then I'll put it on my page and my Stl Roar page, so it'll sound better, and you'll get to see your pretty little face on its own screen.
My fat face. Chubby cheeks.
Oh my gosh. So what is the solution then for the bands to stop making $100 and to make more?
Honestly,
What is your idea that you think would help?
You know, like I said something earlier about everybody needs to start somewhere, and I can understand that starting out, you need to get your foot in the door and et cetera, et cetera. I still think $100 is too low no matter what.
Well, oh yeah, definitely.
I think I think at the very bare bones minimum, you should at least raise it to 150 bare minimum, and I think that should be for people just starting out. If it's a particular venue that doesn't want to play any more than that, I would say to the seasoned musician to not play there, to find other venues that are paying more and play there.
Right.
Allow it to be a venue for people that are just starting out. And then eventually the venue will, chances are, will start upping their money for better performers.
Exactly. Well, in a perfect world, but what if it's the venue that everybody wants to play at and they don't pay?
Well, then why do they want to play it?
Just because it's a cool venue.
Well, and don't get me wrong, I've been
Yeah.
there. I've been there.
You know, if you think about it realistically, the Duck Room is the bomb dig. It is awesome. It's a great venue. It's cool. It's got ambiance. It's got character. Best sound guy in the whole world. I mean, it's killer. You got to have it on your resume. It's a door deal. They do not pay the band any X amount. It's a door deal. So, I mean, you can't start there because it's the freaking Duck Room. So each venue is going to be different.
The second time I played at the Blueberry Hill, I made a ton of money.
Door deal.
And
Yep.
I got a cut of the door as well. So I actually made like $500 or something.
You're supposed to
See
get.
that-
You're supposed to get the whole door unless you play with somebody. Is this one you did with
I
Bud?
I opened for Sia and Stone.
Yeah, so the door goes straight to
yeah.
the musicians, straight to straight to you guys, not anybody else.
And then my merch sells on top of it.
Right.
So yeah, I did all right. You know.
That's awesome. Oh, and you know, there's another Stories from the Window. It's in October.
Another what?
Stories from the Window.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
So you gotta bring your merch up. If you have any left, if you want me to sell it, I mean, I'll be there, of course, because Ron's already said, hey, I got another one. I said, of course I'll sell those movies. Freaking awesome.
I don't think I'm doing merch again at those. I felt a little out of style. I was the only one there that actually had merch.
It's all right. You still sold stuff.
Yeah.
Always have merch. But
Well-
Kat just brought up a perfect example of something. If you're booking at a bar
Yeah.
and you're different venues have different setups. If it's a ticket sales venue, well, if you don't sell the tickets, you only make what the tickets sell. If it's a door, you're getting a flat rate. Say it is $100 a man plus the cover charge.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of solutions.
You know, that's
It's
not a
just-
bad setup. You can you can do a break even, or you can make a crap load of money if the place is
Right.
packed with door charges.
It depends on what the venue is, and there are some venues that refuse to charge a cover, and I get that.
Yeah.
But then again, if it's going to be a special night where you've made arrangements with your 100 of dearest friends, I'm playing here, please come in and pay the cover because I'm playing for the door. You know, if it's out there enough, advertised enough, I'm sure the venue will go along with it. I'm sure it won't be a
Absolutely.
big deal because that's just something they don't have to worry about because they just got to serve the beer and make the money. So, or you could ask for a percentage of the ring too. I mean,
Yeah, and again, you know, this is a topic that a lot of people talk about, but yet don't want to ever bring it full circle or to the mainstream attention because nobody wants to get their throat cut by the venue or by other musicians or piss somebody off, and you know, I mean,
But there's so many different ways musicians can do business and still make a fair cut. That door charge, that if you work out a flat rate, okay, you're paying me $100 to show up, plus I get the door. If you know it's a venue that packs a crowd, and they put even $2 cover at the door, you could still make $500 for playing that night. If the crowd is good.
If the crowd is good. You know, House of Rock used to do that. When I booked them, every deal was different. It was always Burger King with them because everybody got it their way. And every deal was flipping different.
Yeah.
I booked one band there that did not drink at all. They just liked to eat pizza. They just had to have food. I said, make sure that, you know, if you're not making it, then it's got to be here. That's all. The only thing I'm putting in the rider is that, you know, they don't get a bar tab because they don't drink. They don't even get high. They just want to eat pizza and drink soda. That's just the way they were.
And that was one of Brad's bullet points tonight. It's like, how do venues comp drinks or food or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
well, you know, and I think that should all be part of a negotiation. Or whatever.
That's part of it.
Whatever
Is.
you're going into, you say, you know, I don't drink or I do drink and whatever, and make that part of your whatever your
Right, exactly.
So if you're going to drink $200 worth of alcohol, then that should, you know, mean something.
Right.
What your overall price is going to be.
I
Well,
mean,
like we carry drink chips.
mhm.
Solo comes in, sets up, 6 chips go right to him.
Right,
We'll comp them 6 drinks right away.
right.
If we got a good crowd, we'll comp them more.
Mm-hmm.
Brad doesn't drink. I don't have to give him drink chips. He wants to come up and get a soda or a bottle of water. I mean,
Right.
it's Brad. Everybody at the bar knows him. He can walk back and get it himself.
Right. Well, that's good. That's awesome. Or you could give it away.
Yeah.
You could give your chip away to somebody.
Yeah.
And you could.
You want to make chips the hard way?
The hard way or the easy way? Oh my
But every
God.
venue's different to what. I mean, some of these bars have 5, 6 bartenders, cooks, staff on hand. Depending on their overhead, maybe they're booking the wrong music for their venue if they can't afford it.
But that's not always the case. Like when I took over, I booked Parrots. I booked Parrots out to January of next year. I do have some dates though. And
Hint, hint.
hint, hint, yeah. So I said, well, let's do solos and duos on Friday night, and then do a full band on Saturday. But sometimes it didn't work out like that, where I've had a full band on both nights. But it's all about how much money you're spending over the weekend, you know, just for those 2 nights, because they've got something going on every single night. And sometimes with the bigger bands, the ones that are 5 and 6 piece, he doesn't have in the budget to actually pay $700 for a 6-piece band to come in. So that's where we go with the bar tab. $25, half price food, whatever. Something, you know, first time in, I can't go any higher than 5, you know, but it just depends on the band. So, and most of them that are starting out, they're okay, we'll do it, you know, so
Right.
doesn't help your bottom line, but still.
You know, and I will say this. So, throughout the years, doing multiple open mics, I started assisting with booking people, getting them through the door as well. You know, and you know, I mean, you can only make suggestions. I don't think I've ever had complete full reign, except maybe a handful of times. But usually, you know, I'll make a suggestion or like, well, who's that? You know, I don't want to pay this person X amount of dollars.
Right.
And I'm gonna name drop somebody just because I think he should be name dropped. And so I was booking in a bar. I'm not gonna name the bar, but I name dropped Pat Liston, and I said I think we should get Pat Liston in the door. And he's like, well, I'm not gonna pay that kind of money. And I said, well, you pay other me explain something. I said, there's people that do cover music that are wannabe rock stars. Then there's people that write music that maybe will be a rock star, and then there's rock stars. It's like, pay the fucking man his money.
Exactly.
And they did have him, but they only had him once.
He's awesome. I mean, he has a built-in following. I mean, I've known Pat forever. I remember Donnie was busy and asked me to book him back in the day, and I said, I do not want that pressure. No way. Sorry, Donnie, he's all yours. She's like, no. But she was just really tired. But anyway, so
Well, she's good.
but he brings it. It speaks for himself. I mean, he's still taking a huge pay cut because he used to not make that money, but it's totally worth it. It's all his music, and it's great. And yeah, he's just awesome, and he's super cool to work with.
And people need to look up to that. People, that should be the goal. Not be the next Led Zeppelin or be the next whomever, in my opinion, if that counts for anything.
Sure it does. Sure it does. Well, Mama's Pride was right there.
Yeah, well,
They were touring with. They were called the Allman Joys at the time, and then they changed their name to the Allman Brothers.
Right.
And yeah, they all ended up in California. Now, Mama's Pride was one of the bands that did not fly together. They did not, simply because of crashing and all that kind of crap. But they stayed together for 40 plus years. Unfortunately, 2 of their guys died, but it'll always just be And they quit playing when their guys couldn't play anymore. So they never got their 40th show at the pageant. Almost, but it's all good.
It just, at some point it should hit everybody like a ton of bricks. And they should be like, do I want to keep playing Stevie Ray Vaughan my whole life? Or do I want to be my own person?
Right.
At what point does that click? Do I want to keep playing the same ripped off blues notes that everybody and their brother has done 10,000 times over and call myself a rock star? Or do I actually want to try to find out who the hell I am and put that out there and see if people accept it? If they don't accept it, at least I tried.
Now, brother, you know as well as I do, not everybody is ingrained to do the original route. A lot of people just like to play. They don't have the inspiration to maybe write their own or something. Even original artists run out of inspiration from time to time.
Of course, I run out of inspiration.
So
I'm just jaded with the whole industry. I still like playing.
For those that want to do the cover band route, that I still think, if you're just a cover band, then you're at this scale.
Right.
Then you're this upscaled cover band, the tribute style or the show style. You've got a little more value because you bring a bigger show to it. And then you get into your original artists. Their value is way higher to me because if you have taken the time, especially to sit down and write, work with the other musicians, record, and then you're going to drag all this gear around and play places on your original name, that carries more weight to me. And that should be more valuable to more venues in this area.
Yeah, there's a few bands that are, like Conquest is probably one of the oldest original bands that are still out there playing. Over 40 years they've been playing, and they still have a following. They still bring it. They have a great show. Once in a while they'll throw a cover in it, but they put their spin on it so much you don't even realize it's a cover until if you're listening to the words. I'm like, holy shit, that sounds great. Divine Sorrow's another one. I mean, those guys are badass. Brian he doesn't sing at practice. He only sings when he's on stage. He's freaking awesome. But he's a killer songwriter. And, I mean, it's another group of guys who just have great chemistry and they just work well together and they do all their own original songs. They have a following.
And
It's just how it is.
It's hard to find the right places for original acts. We're a little dive bar juke joint in the middle of nowhere, southern Illinois. But when we have music in there, it's 90% of the time original acts. I would almost consider it a listening room more than a bar on those nights.
Right.
We get guys like Matt Miller down, John David Daly, Craig Gerdes.
Mhm.
These are national touring, self-recording, independent country artists. They're doing their own thing.
So yeah, I wanted to definitely bring John in. You know, we've known each other for a while now. Not like we hang
Couple
out.
days anyway.
We don't hang out or nothing like hang out. But
No, you just have the keys to his bar. It's all good. Help yourself.
But obviously being a new venue owner and starting to understand both aspects of the business, I definitely wanted him to be here, and I wanted to talk about his bar a little bit. You know, John's trying to do something that I find very honorable. You know, he's trying to get talent to come in to play their own stuff. You know, and what's cool about his bar, it's in Evansville. It's called Billy Bob's Juke Joint. So, it was at one time a hotel in the 1800s, right?
1900s and 30s and
Okay.
40s. And,
Was it a brothel?
Probably so.
Apparently so.
Yeah, there's.
Apparently, all those little places down by the river there
Yeah.
were brothels.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
There's a sea turtle hanging on the bar above the bar back with a gypsy story that goes back 100 years.
That's cool. That's awesome.
but one really cool aspect was I played down there one night, and I don't even know what the hell was going on. I can't remember. I think I had very little sleep, which I don't sleep very rarely, or at least it's broken up sleep. But I was down there, and John's like, you can stay here, because I was going to get a hotel. And I'm like, stay where? What are you talking about? And he took me upstairs, and he showed me, and it still has all the vintage wallpaper. the
Oh, very
flooring,
cool.
Everything is as it was, except he cleaned it all up. And so he's allowing
Well,
musicians.
My wife cleaned it all up.
Okay.
I'll be very specific with that one.
But he's allowed these people to travel from Tennessee or wherever they're coming from
And
stay
crash there.
for free.
Very cool.
And it didn't dawn on me until I stayed there. And I stayed there, and I woke up the next day, and I'm like, this was badass. I want to do this again.
My son did that. He lives in Memphis, and he had a house. He had a bunch of his buddies living in, and the whole upstairs. It was, I don't know how it was made, but instead of like doors, it was shutters. But when it opened up, it was just like doors. So the whole top, their house was always rocking because musicians would come through Memphis. They would all stay at Benjamin's house, and it was slamming. That's where they crashed, and they'd have it out. They would play on that second level, that second story, just play music all night long, and they go to sleep, maybe, or whatever they're doing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool vibe for sure.
It is cool. It is.
Now
But
they're doing food. He's going to be doing the gaming. Because Illinois has got where you can gamble now, which I need to stop doing that, by the way.
Yeah, you do.
yeah, but that when you have those games in your bar, I mean, it'll make your rent. I mean, because it's
Well, he needs to stop gaming everywhere else. He can come game at our place
right.
before and after
Really?
his shows.
I made
Shame on you.
$12,000 in a 24-hour period of time.
There you go.
But
I figure if he puts his money in our video games, I'll just get my money back for paying him to play.
Well, that's right. Exactly.
there's
Take it out in soda.
a lot of truth in that.
Oh my God! You play games at Diamond?
Play games.
Do you play the games at
They took them all out.
What? Because people were coming in and do that and not tipping the girls or not playing with the girls.
No, they're under new ownership. So
You told me that last time. Are you one of the owners?
no,
But you're doing the work on the place, aren't you?
I'm a promoter. An independent promoter for the club. They are going to be getting gaming back in there.
That's cool.
I don't know. I just like the place. A lot of I've been going there since I was 18 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and it's open late. And typically, there's never any major issues there, and if
Right.
they are, they're nipped real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to Pops and get in fights, and I personally have never been in a fight at Diamond Cabaret. I came close one time, but that's it.
Right.
I can go there, I can smoke a cigar. I mean, I don't know if you can do that or not. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, they're open late. And I like going there.
Well, yeah, back in the day when it was, I bartended at Platinum Plus and Crystal Palace, and of course, well, Roxy's, and then PT's, which was in Sauget at the time. And yeah, we hung out there. I mean, it was just, you knew everybody, and it wasn't a big deal. And it was open late, and you're always going to make a buttload of money if you're working there. I just bartended. After hours, I got taught how to swing on the pole and stuff. That was fun. But yeah. I said, no, I can't do that in front of everybody. No, I got little kids at home. I had an ex-husband up my ass trying to take him away from me. And the judge told him, he said, she's working one night a week in this bar. She's bartending. She doesn't go out, you know. Now, I could raise your child support, or you can just leave her alone. But yeah, he was trying to get... I wasn't doing anything wrong. Was not doing anything wrong at all. But, you know, it is what it is.
That's a good time. I still go there. I prefer the off nights, though. I'll go like on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or industry night. I'll go in to hang out and have some coffee or whatever.
Have some
Good
coffee.
times.
Yes. You should go in there and play your guitar.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. You can sit in the center stage and let him swing on you. While you're trying to play.
Maybe in the VIP room. Maybe we can
Oh, there you go.
Work a deal out there.
On the rare occasion, those kind of clubs
tips
do
might be
like
good.
to have live music once in a while.
Tips might be good, just the tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. Jesus. That's awesome. You gonna play some more, or did you put your guitar up?
No, that's right there.
No,
He
it's right
needs to
there.
grab one because Brad's coming down with maybe a special guest or two to play the New Year's Eve show at Billy Bob's this year.
Who's your guest? You gotta tell us.
To be announced.
This man right here, he's gonna play stand-up bass New Year's at his own bar, and I'm gonna play there, and then hopefully I can bring a buddy out for percussion or something. We'll see how it rolls out.
Cool. Sounds awesome.
We're just gonna have a jam night.
Yeah, it'll be a fun night.
So, do you have enough room for a full band, or are you just doing solos and duos?
Right now, it's solos and duos because our bar floor is pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a nice big backyard that just needs some work done
Mm-hmm.
to create a beer garden, and then it's game on.
Right. That's cool.
Then it'll be a 2-stage beer garden, and we can do some festival type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Get people back to Evansville.
Mhm.
It's a little bitty river town. It's a great place to party. There's a couple of excellent bars right there in town.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's in walking distance.
That's awesome.
And the river's right there. So you get a
For
cool-
bodies or whatever, right?
Exactly.
We keep the concrete blocks in the back just in case.
I
quick
don't want to hear. I don't want to know.
No, there's Water Street's a bar that's right on the. It's literally on a barge.
Mm-hmm.
Great place to party.
Cool.
You got Sue's just right up from there.
Mm-hmm.
Great pizza. And then we're a block and a half down. You can have a great little tour of the town in walking distance.
Mm-hmm. Sounds awesome.
I really respect what he's trying to do with it. I do. It's a breath of fresh air, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I always said I would like to own a bar, you know. I don't think that is the same goal or not. But back when I was a drinker, I thought it would be really cool to own a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Probably be better to own a bar now, but I respect what he's trying to do with it.
Exactly. You drink all the profits. There would be no bar left.
Unless you charge yourself when you drink.
Well,
Yeah.
Or gamble and win, and then pay yourself to drink.
That's right, because you can afford it because he's got the game in the bar.
You can't gamble in your own bar, though.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
true.
you can.
Well, you're not supposed to.
Yes, you can.
You're not supposed to.
Not if you want to
People
keep
do.
that license.
Well, I know somebody who did in Missouri. Is it different? Is it different in Missouri?
I know too, but you're not supposed to.
How about another song, or two?
Sure.
Guitar's right behind you.
Original or cover or what?
Original, really?
Why
Seriously?
the hell would you even mention the cover?
I don't know.
Are you drunk?
Not yet.
All that NA is getting to his head.
No, well, even if I drank 30 of them, they wouldn't do anything. You can't process it fast enough. Let's see.
Well, let's try it. How many's left in there? Is that all of them?
I got
No, I'm good. Tweezy, not a beer.
Let's see what I have in this done. I may have something that just pops up that it's not popping up in my head right now.
Really? What are you working on? Are you working on something?
No, not in particularly. When I did Keep Live Alive, performed for that,
Right.
that was a song that I have not released. But I haven't really been, other than writing notes down and some different melodies and things, I haven't really run into anything since the last song I played. In my last iPad, I used to have everything sorted out properly, and then a girl broke it.
Stop pissing him off. Damn it. Stop pissing him off. That's all you gotta do, Brad.
Hey, I didn't do anything wrong. My mom likes this song. I didn't bring a harmonica, but actually I did, but it's outside. That's all. I might have been raining, but nothing to do. It's good to be a songwriter, 'cause I'm nobody's fool. I might be accidental, you might be too. And I don't agree with free will, but what can I do? It's alright with me, I don't understand. It's alright with me, my friend. They say you're a prophet, maybe it's true. All the despair, I swear, is for me and you. No, I didn't listen enough to hear the truth. All things are broken, they become new. It's alright with me, I don't understand. It's alright with me, I don't understand. It's alright with me, my friend. All that is left and all that is gone goes slipping through my fingers, turning a song. What makes me right After all I do wrong, maybe you can tell me. After I'm gone, it's alright with me. I don't understand. It's alright with me. I don't understand. It's alright with me that I don't understand. It's alright with me, my friend.
Yes! Okay, we got time for one more. Make it a good one.
Okay. Let's see what we got.
Because I know you won't suck. Even on your worst day, you couldn't suck, I don't think. No way. So many songs. Which one am I going to
I
put?
know, right?
I know. You've got them all there.
Scrolling, scrolling. I haven't played this in a long time.
I challenge him to do one that he hasn't released yet, but I know he won't yet.
You know how these artists are.
Hurts to walk by. Hurts to fall at your side. Let me unwind with a soft goodbye night. Forgetting what you've done. Knowing what it's came to be. Feeling the war go on, you and me. When you take a part of me, you could leave it when you go. Bleeding what you think you need is faster done alone. Edging to the sun, tired, weary eyes, searching for the one. Say you played it right tonight. Still carry on, and I am what I claim to be. Can it be undone, you and me? When you take a part of me, you can leave it when you go. Bleeding what faster than alone. It's faster than alone. It's faster than alone.
Yes. Woo! Awesome. Episode 106, mycitymymusic.com, Stl Roar, Brad Noe in the house. Where are you at this weekend again?
I've been Hidden Lake Winery on Friday for open mic 7 to 11.
Nothing Saturday or Sunday?
Nope,
Not yet, anyway.
Not this weekend.
Do you want to be somewhere this weekend?
As the phone rings.
Yeah, as the phone rings, that's one of my friends. So, and your bar is?
Billy Bob's Juke Joint.
Where is it?
Evansville, Illinois.
Evansville, Illinois. Awesome. Who you got playing this weekend? Brad, you need a gig?
That would be funny.
Saturday or Sunday, pick one. You can play there.
Or Monday. You pick the date.
Or Monday, it is 4th of July.
That's cool.
Isn't it? No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what I was supposed to do this weekend. I was supposed to go to Indiana this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
That means you're still going, or
That was the plan. Unless you really wanted me to play, then I would.
Can you afford him? Does he just play for soda?
he'll just play for soda this
There you
weekend,
go.
right? Right?
I felt bad about starting that last song. I was in the wrong.
Soda and exposure.
That's right.
Right.
Exposure.
Exposure, yeah.
Right.
That's what venues offer.
Well,
Soda
sure.
and exposure.
Don't expose myself.
That's Ron Jeremy's fault.
That would be more exposure than my bar needs.
We gotta always come full circle.
You want to keep it, right? All right, you guys. We will see you whenever. Thanks for tuning in. Stl Roar, mycitymymusic.com, episode 106. Oh, and thank you, Tweezy, of course. The man back there. This guy puts up with all of our shit. And, yeah, he makes everything look good and sound good. So, he's the boss, the dude, all of it. So, if you guys want your own show, call him. He can hook you up